Then we also have the women's Money in the Bank. And if we're going under the assumption that Dakota Kai wins, it will be Dakota Kai versus Naomi versus Tiffany Stratton versus Io Sky versus Chelsea Green versus Lyra Valkyria. And I honestly think that it is going to come down to, or it should be, either Tiffany or Chelsea. I don't think there's any other reason for anybody else to even be in contention to win women's Money in the Bank.
I'm going Chelsea. I'm picking Chelsea to win.
I just like, I feel like I don't care as long as it's Tiffany or Chelsea because I love them both. And I've been advocating for Tiffany Stratton to win the women's Money in the Bank. So if she wins, I will be happy. If
It
Chelsea
will be
wins, I'll be
validated.
happy. Yeah. So I think that those two are just far too entertaining to not have the briefcase. Like,
Yeah.
if we're going to go through the list just the way that we did with the men, Naomi doesn't need a Money in the Bank briefcase. And we know she's a baby face. She's not going to cash in on Bailey. They're besties. She already got a title shot against Bailey. That's not happening. Io Sky, they can't have this whole mental breakdown of Io Sky begin and then reward that by having her win the Money in the Bank briefcase. That doesn't make any sense. It doesn't add anything to that storyline. Lyra doesn't need it. Like, not yet. You know what I mean?
No, Lyra's in that mellow category.
Yeah.
For
And
sure.
the same thing with Dakota. Like, the Dakota would be great winning, but it really narrows her down to feuding with Damage Control. And I just don't know if I see that happening yet, you know, because otherwise there's nothing really going on with her that makes it interesting storyline wise outside of Damage Control. So I really do think it's Tiffany, which makes sense because you know, she's like such a rising star on SmackDown, blah blah blah, and then now she's aligned herself with Nia, so it's like Nia can be the queen of the ring, and then Tiffany can be Miss Money in the Bank. Like, that's a perfect pairing right there.
That is a perfect
But
pair.
I would love for Chelsea. I would love for Chelsea to win and literally hold on to the briefcase until next year's Money in the Bank and like cash in on like the very last minute that she possibly could. I would love that because the women have never held the briefcase that long. Like,
No, it's
it's
only
like,
been like a month.
yeah, Io Sky was the longest one to ever hold it beyond 24 hours. And for me, I would love for Chelsea to be able to have like an entire year to just have a bunch of shenanigans because she would be so fantastic, like running in and acting like she's gonna cash in and being like, haha, just kidding, never mind, I didn't, you know, like there's so many ways that she could go about it that I think it would just be so hilarious if she waited an entire year and then they were like, Chelsea, you literally have 2 hours to cash in. You know, like, I don't know. I feel like that would be so interesting for
The
her.
hijinks that she could get into by
Yes.
being Miss Money in the Bank. Like, I miss Money in the Bank. I should be able to do whatever I want. And
Yes.
it's like, Chelsea, you've been Money in the Bank for almost a year now.
Mm-hmm.
Why, like, cash in? Oh, I could see that. I'm into
Yeah.
that.
I feel like that would be such a fitting storyline for her and only her. That's why I like when I thought of it, I was like,
Oh
I
yeah.
think and I think she's entertaining enough to have us in wanting to see what she was going to do next throughout that entire year. There's not many girls that would be in that position to do that. I mean, even if we're looking at the men, so many people were coming for Damian Priest because he held it for so long, you
Yeah,
know, and then
till
it was like,
WrestleMania.
yeah. And
That was
so it's
only
like,
WrestleMania.
I don't think that's going to be the case with Chelsea because people already doubt that she's a legitimate female wrestler, that she's a legitimate
Let them doubt.
contender for
Let
the
them
title,
doubt.
you know? So then her holding on to it longer than maybe people think she should would make sense to those people because it's like, yeah, she has no shot at beating Bailey or she has no shot at beating Liv Morgan or whatever, you know what I mean? But if she held on to it for a year and then is like forced to cash in, like, there's a lot of ways that they could build it up to make it so exciting for her to win in a year
Oh
also.
yeah. That's how you build a superstar.
Yes. And so
Exactly.
I'm into it. I mean, I know I'm biased because I thought about it, but I'm like, I would love to see this. I would just love that for her because
Oh
she's
yeah.
so good.